I'm like, you don't need to go to college. I'm like, dude, you could learn more watching YouTube videos and jumping into Facebook groups, you know,
Yeah,
and
that's
make more
awesome.
money and be happier.
Let's go.
He's just launched some companies, one of which is Movago, or Sticky Notes by Movago. Really looking forward to today's episode. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for investing your time with us. Once Matt jumps on board, we'll get started. Here we go. That was quick. I'll tell you what, guests are getting quicker and quicker. That was fantastic. I remember when we first started, I was talking shit for a good 5, 6, 7 minutes, whereas now we've managed to get down to a fine tune of having to listen to me for probably 1 to 2 minutes. Hey, Matt.
What's going on, man?
Thank you so much for coming on.
All right. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, man. Crystal clear.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to break something first, apparently.
Oh, fuck, man. Yeah, I'm super excited for having you on today. So thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, totally, man. I'm excited to be on and appreciate you taking the time and fit me in your busy schedule.
Oh, man, I'm sure you're 10 times busier than I am, so it's all good. Oh, shit. But yeah, a lot of guests have been looking forward to this episode. So yeah, I think it's going to be good fun.
Yeah, no, totally excited, man. I love interviews, and I know the awesome people in your group, so that's exciting. I just saw Amanda jump on. Hey, Amanda, what's going on? I love seeing that the cream kind of rises to the top. You start to see the same people in the same groups, and you can see who the action takers are. So that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, if everyone at home, if you're watching, we'd love to hear from you. How about hashtag Matt? How about we drop that for the comments? Just so we know you're watching, you're getting some value out of it. Yeah, so if you don't know who Matt is, basically Matt Staton, he's got his own group. It's over 4,000 people in the group, Affiliate Blueprint Marketing. Oh, there you go. Rob says sent friend request. There you go. Yeah, he recently just sold his 33% share in a mid-7-figure business, which is amazing. He's got 2 businesses that he's just launching, Movago or Sticky Notes by Movago, and group funnels as well. So yeah, some fantastic stuff there. So Matt, let's get started, man. Like, I'd love to hear, like, how did this all come about? Like, were you always an entrepreneur, or did you say have a 9 to 5 up until, say, like college, or what happened there?
Yeah, so my story, I fucking always hated authority, right? Like, I hated some people think inside the box and some people think outside of the box. To me, I'm like, there's no fucking box. I was the type of kid in 7th grade where they're like, oh, you can't wear shorts to school in the winter. And I'm like, why the fuck not? Girls can wear skirts. And they're like, too bad you can't wear shorts. And I'm like, fine, I'm fucking wearing a skirt tomorrow. And then they stopped harassing me about that. I would have worn a skirt. When I was a kid, I was raised in a kind of, I didn't know it at the time. I had a great childhood, but lower middle class, definitely lower middle class. My dad and mom, my mom was a stay-at-home mom raising 4 kids, and my dad worked as a cop. So, they didn't make a shit ton of money. My grandfather was always very thrifty and coming from a younger background and needing money, like, I always had to find ways to make money. So I was shoveling driveways and, fucking cutting grass and all those things.
Yeah, nice.
Hated working for the man. I fucking hated uniforms. I hated, you got to wear a tie, all that bullshit. I remember at the age of 10, my grandfather and I, we sent a little letter to Nike where we had an invention we sent. They politely declined. It was coming from me. But
that's great.
So I did have a little bit of the corporate world, and I learned enough to realize I fucking hate red tape. So, like, I can do shit as an entrepreneur in about 1/100th of the time it takes, like, a big billion-dollar company to get something through. It's like, dude, let's just change it. It's a 5-minute change. We know I'm huge. Dale, what's going on? I love Dale. Dale's a fucking, he's a stud. I talk to Dale regularly.
Hey, Dale. I've seen Dale. Dale's a champ.
Yeah, Dale's brilliant. So that's kind of like my background. It's been always thinking creatively, to get. I'm very results oriented. Like, you can't fucking argue with data. So I'm a numbers guy.
Yep.
Business is just math. It's basic math. Not even fucking that bullshit they teach you in school. Like, oh, here's geometry, or here's trig, or pre-calculus. I'm like, I'm never fucking taking that shit. I didn't. I'm like, why the fuck do I need to add, divide, subtract, multiply? Easy shit.
Yeah, man. Look, school was just straight up bullshit. Like, it's like, teach me how to file my taxes, for fuck's sake. I mean,
no
when
shit.
am I ever going to, like?
Yeah, I mean, seriously, like, I wish they would have taught me about interest rates, right? Like, hey, guess what? When you get a credit card thrown at you while you're going to college and getting, screwed over in college, like, the whole college thing, the only thing I learned is not to drink too much and, whatever. Nothing very important. I don't even use my degree.
Keep it safe.
Yes. There you go.
Oh, shit. Yeah. I mean, because one thing we did have was work ed, which was in, like, I think it was like grade 8 or something. And we basically would have a week where we had to go do free work experience just somewhere in the community. And it would teach us to at least get a casual job as a teenager. And that was really helpful. I mean, you pick somewhere where it was, like a department store or a supermarket or whatever. You do work experience for a week, and the stores are licking their lips because they're getting free labor for a whole week. And then, sometimes it would, like for myself, and then I got a casual job out of it. So, and that was kind of the point where you learn to work. So that was helpful. But then when they turn around, they're like, yeah, so you got to carry X to times by Y. And it's like, seriously? Why? Like, fuck you.
Exactly. And I could do it, but my 10-year-old already gets it. He's already like, I'm never going to use this shit. Like, he won't say shit, but he'll say stuff. Like, I'm never going to use this stuff. He's very smart. He's in advanced classes, but he's like, this is dumb. Like, what am I going to use this? And I tell him flat out, I'm like, never. Unless you're going to be, some fucking rocket scientist. Even then, there's a computer or a calculator. Like, I don't know. Fucking, I don't want to go down that horrible subject of math.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So everyone at home, if you're just tuning in, Matt Staton, we'd love to hear from you. Maybe hashtag hi, just so we know you're tuning in live. We'd love to absolutely hear from you. So, Matt, I mean, from a kid, you were saying you always had, shoveling driveways and things like that. When did you start to really take it seriously? Like, what was your first business, or when did you kind of have it click?
Well, there was a futile attempt, and then I'll tell you my first business because it's a funny story. So my futile attempt was, it was summer. Like, so my first job I hated so much. That's kind of when I got a taste. I was like 15 years old working at Wendy's, and Wendy's is like a national chain for burgers and shit. And I remember this lady, I don't want to make fun of people with a speech impediment, but she did it. I want to say it the way that she said it. She would be like, if you got time to wean, you got time to clean. And it was like, if you got time to lean, you got time to clean. And I'm sitting here like, this is a shithole. Like, I'm not even, like, look, we need people to serve fucking burgers, right? Otherwise, we'd never get burgers. And there is a, you start here and you got to work your way up. I'm all about working your way up.
Yeah, like the hierarchy kind of thing.
Like, I'm like, dude, I've already fucking, I know how to make a burger. Like, I had to get the fuck out of there. So I would literally, like, at the time I could only work like 2 hours a day. It was like miserable. Like, by the time I got there, it was time to leave. I get in trouble because I ate a burger. I thought it was free, whatever. So I lasted like 2 weeks. So my first, it was like a summer after high school. I'm like, okay, I'm going to, I mean, I did so many weird things like selling candy bars door to door, but my first semi-legit one was, I knew a guy who, like, I'm the type of guy that says, fuck it. If you can do it, I can do it. I don't care if you're fucking, Bill Gates. I'm going to do it. So there was a guy who had a seal coating company, and he'd go, like, seal coat blacktop driveways. So I'm like, fuck it. I don't have a truck and the money to go get a truck because I was spending it on beer. So I literally went out and, just threw in the back of my trunk these 5-gallon buckets and had a squeegee, and I made more myself there and learned more about, like, literally, who's my target audience? People who have blacktop fucking driveways. Oh, better yet, people who have blacktop driveways that need seal coating. Like if they have a brand new driveway, you don't. So I learned some shit. It was really doing door to door, handing out flyers, right? I was
Yeah.
thrifty where I had my company where I was working, or my sister was working at the time, print out like, I don't know, 100 or 1,000 flyers for me, something like that. But there was no
Yeah.
Facebook back then. My next one was kind of like the one was most
Back in the day.
serious. Yeah, so I was married, had how many kids did I have? One, two, I don't know. Anyway, I was working at
You
this
had a
company.
handful.
Yeah, I had two. I
Yeah.
was working at this company called insurance.com, and I'm an insurance agent. Sales come easy to me, and I'm just like, okay, this is boring. I'm answering the phone, selling people insurance. It's if you can't sell to somebody that's needs to purchase something that's required by law, then you suck at sales. Like you should never sell.
Yeah. Very
So
cool.
I'm sitting there going, there's got to be more to life. So I'm reading Anthony Robbins' book, Awaken the Giant Within, and I'm reading this story of this guy in Texas who fucking, like, his job was he made over $100,000 a year picking up dog shit. Um,
Okay.
and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I like animals. I don't really like shit, but I can pick up dog shit if I can make like at the time I'm making like 45 grand, right, a year. So I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck it, I'll go pick up dog shit to get the fuck out of this call center, right?
Yeah.
So I created this company called Poop Patrol. My website was
I love it.
poop-patrol.net. I still have the fucking shirt just so I remember my roots, right?
Yeah.
And it was crazy. I remember, like, I had to teach myself web design. I taught myself how to file something through the state of Ohio, like my LLC, all the business basics.
Yeah.
And I went out and I was like, couldn't get a customer for the life of me. There was this one event at a baseball stadium where they had the dog days of summer. So all the people from within a probably 50-mile radius came there. I'm handing out flyers with my wife, which, God, I don't know how she could hand out Poop Patrol flyers, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I spent $300, and then I'm closing the business down. I didn't make a penny, and then all of a sudden, after I've closed it down, I get a call, and on that call, I get a customer, and actually just took one fucking customer just to say I took it. I went and cleaned up
Yep.
this lady's dog shit, and that was that. But what I did learn is so much about how to start a business, how stupid it was to market to people from a 50-mile radius. I'm not driving 50 miles to pick up dog shit, you know? As I'm handing out flyers, I'm like, oh, you're from like 45 miles away. Probably not a good fit.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
So
I love it.
I did learn how to do websites, which was good.
That's cool. Yeah. And did you then leverage that to build more websites as you kept going, or did you
totally,
have,
yeah. Yeah, MayorTed.com was my first. Then I kind of got into. So what I learned quickly was I knew enough of, like, because I actually coded on a Commodore 64 when I was like 9 years old or something like that. That language was basic, and then I got into Visual Basic and just fucking around. And then I got away from coding completely. So then when I was learning web design, like, I learned that I understood it and understood how to use it to solve business problems.
Yep.
But I realized I couldn't scale as a one-man shop. So at the time, like, places, they weren't called, I forget what like guru.com was just coming up. Places like Upwork. So what I was doing is basically I was outsourcing. I always call myself the king of outsource. I literally sold a logo, for a $25 logo for $2,000, a snippet of JavaScript that changes phone numbers for $2,000. You know, I built a website for 500, sold it for 20 grand, you know. So I learned how to do that shit where it's like, it's kind of more of a project manager, but I'm doing sales and marketing as well. So just had a blast.
Yeah, man, that's fantastic. No, well, yeah, obviously, from humble beginnings, you've come such a long way. But I love the Poo Patrol. That's awesome.
It's
We'll
funny.
pick up your shit
And
extra quick.
yes, exactly. There's still a company around that's called On Duty, like DOODY or something. It's funny,
Shit.
and they're
I love it.
still around to this day. They were my competition. They beat me. I'm like, thank God they beat me.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, it's just sometimes just such abstract businesses like that do really, really well. I mean, not always, obviously, but I mean, sometimes they do really, really well. And it's just funny that, yeah, just you're like, fuck it, I'm just going to do it. I don't care. And you know, from what you learn from doing that, then it's just fantastic. Because I didn't have I guess, a real proper business till after high school. Till then, it was always just not half-ass shit, but just like dodgy shit, like making fake IDs for everyone so they get like the
I did
beer,
the
you know,
same.
drive through. You should just scratch off the 8 to make it a 7. Like, yep, you're born in 1987. Go forth. Beers for everyone.
We did the
Oh,
same.
yeah.
I remember making it for these these 6 girls. They were going down to Myrtle Beach, and I made them. I actually made fake IDs for the state of Indiana. I think the statute of limitations is gone now, so that's good. But I made it for the state of Indiana because it was the easiest to reproduce. And this is back in the day when they had like the, you know, it was like, ooh, 300 and some dots per inch on the printer. You know, it's like inkjet printers. You know, the cartridges were, well, ink cartridges are still ridiculously expensive, but it was so
Yeah.
funny. My dad was a cop, and he caught me, and he's like, we had one family computer, and he's like, you know, this is like a $10,000 fine, and yada yada yada, and you could go to jail. And I'm like, right, I'll shut down shop.
Yeah. Fair enough. You caught me.
Yeah, chicks got them for free if they were good looking, though. I was that guy.
Yep.
Sorry.
Nice. Oh, I remember like a few years after I stopped, I was in a club and I was chatting to some girl that then just coincidentally went to my school and we were talking. And I don't know how it came up, but she's like, oh yeah, I had someone make a fake ID for me back in school. And I was like, yeah, that was me. She's like, oh, all right then. It was a small world.
I had my brother's ID. My brother's, at the time we looked similar, but I'm 6'1", he's 6'4", so he was taller. And it was funny because I had his license forever since he turned 21. So at
Yeah.
4 years older, that means I was about 17. And it was funny because he moved out of state, so people would actually think I was him. Like even people he knew from high school, they'd be like, hey, what's going on, Larry? And I'm like, if you guys ever want a fake ID, and you guys are probably past that point, or you want to share this with your kids, the thing, at least in the States, is, you know, we have the social security number where people would go, what's your social? Well, now they remove those from most licenses that I'm aware of, but they would say, what's your sign? Like, you know, zodiac sign or whatnot, like I'm Aries. Well, my brother,
Yeah.
I think, in a while, is Sagittarius. The thing is, you really don't even have to fucking know because the bouncer doesn't know. You just have to say something quickly. Because if you go, then they realize that you have a fake ID. Unless you're, yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's great. I love that. Hey man, so I mean, let's hear about with your group. So, how did that come about? Because you've done phenomenally, like, you know, over 4,000 people. How long you have had the group for, and what prompted starting that? I think we may have lost Matt there temporarily with the internet. So bear with us one moment while Matt comes on board. But for everyone. 2 new businesses he's launching. Yeah, all right, we'll get him back on in a sec. Here we go. Cool. So yeah, everyone watching in at home, Matt Staton. Basically, yeah, I've been really looking forward to him coming on. So, hey man, we got you back.
Sorry about that. That was my dumb ass.
No, you're right.
All right,
I was just doing a recap, really. If you're watching at home, we love to make sure you're getting value from this. If you could drop #value, just so A, we know you're getting value, and then B, this gets organically shared more, so more people can enjoy this awesome interview with Matt.
Awesome. I appreciate it. So the groups thing, so I knew nothing about groups, absolutely nothing. I thought it was like, you know, all these buy-sell trade places. I'm like, okay, cool. So then I'm like, you know, I kind of got into the ClickFunnels world and was learning about marketing and positioning. I knew I was selling the company I just sold effective January 2nd. There's a big
Congrats.
process. You don't just go, hey, I'm selling something, and it like doesn't happen that quick, especially when it's like a
Yeah.
mid-7-figure company, right? So
Yep.
all that shit was happening. So I was trying to position myself like, what the fuck am I going to do next? So from there, I'm like, okay, let's just start playing around. And I started seeing like what looked like to me business happening online. And I shit you not, like I started on, I think I launched my group, I want to say September 9th. I literally was playing around in groups, literally made every faux pas you could make, like just like, oops, I like just dropped my link or something, whatever. I just was a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Once I realized that being like, you should participate in a group like you would in life. Like don't be a dick, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
You
Don't be a
wouldn't just walk
dick.
into someone at a barbecue and go, hey man, my name's Matt, here's my business card, take it, you want this, right? Like that's just stupid.
Yeah.
I look at Arnie Giske as the group growth master. So I personally took his course and applied everything that he fucking said to do. And not only was I learning how to position things, and I was also learning how to monetize the group, and it started helping me meet. I networked more in the last 4 months and built more authentic relationships, really, than I had in the last 6 or 7 years building the company that I just sold, because I was becoming very stagnant, and it was very refreshing to go, wow, there's a lot of fucking cool, smart people out there, and I want to get to know them. And Facebook and these Facebook Lives and Zoom or whatever the fuck technology allows us to build authentic relationships.
Yeah, definitely.
So I've been having a blast doing that shit, and as I build the relationships, some other opportunities started coming along, and that's where I kind of got into the new software shit.
Yeah, that's really cool. Because it is. It's phenomenal. Like I started this group in November, and I've made more relationships and networked more in these last few months than I have in years. Really, I mean, when people would come into the 9 to 5 I was working, I mean, you had the relationships there. Be like, oh, if I can talk to these people, like, I mean, there's a few that you got along with, and you're like, yeah, look, I'd actually be keen to hang out with these people, like getting a beer and that, but for the most, just like, yeah, nah.
No, and then I hated the backstabbers. It's like, fuck, dude. Like, I would be afraid to say anything open and honest because somebody would run and go tell somebody else, and HR's like, oh, you got to pay $3 to wear jeans on Friday. I literally worked for a $10 billion company. I ran their SEO team. I ran their analytics team. And I had to pay $3. I'm like, who gives a fuck what I wear? I'm like, Google makes so much more money than you and doesn't give a fuck what anyone wears, right? I'm like, that I don't know, that shit, like, crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
nah, having to adhere to HR absolutely did my head in. Because there was years and years ago, there was a staff member that I politely wanted to let go, and HR was like, "Oh no, you can't do it. You've got to show that you've tried to help with her learning and all this." And I was like, she doesn't want to fucking learn. Like, she clearly doesn't want to be here. Like, she's hungover every Monday. She's causing sick every Thursday for also being hungover. She doesn't want to be here. Like, end of story. And they're like, no, you got to show like you've tried to help support her and all this. I was like, how do you do that? How do you support someone that doesn't want to be supported?
Yep. And that they'll play the system too. There are those people who will manipulate the system for their benefit because they know the laws, or like, oh, I'm this or I'm that, and I fit in this class and I'm protected. And companies don't want to get into litigation, and it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, man, I hear you very much. Whereas now it's a completely different ball game. It's actually enjoyable, and the networking is fantastic, and the technology we've got is just incredible. Because I'm based in Australia, so there's absolutely no way I'd be able to meet any of you guys. Like, so it's just phenomenal. Really, it's really powerful.
100%. And this is so cool too for me. Like, I built relationships with people in Australia, all around the United States, digital nomads, like a completely different lifestyle that I'm living right now. I'm married with 3 kids, but when the kids are out, I'm going to be a digital nomad. Like I already know it, right? So
Yeah.
I want to travel so much more. But even now, like I've traveled out to Seattle to go meet with Arnie over group funnels.
Cool.
Going to Florida for the funnel hacking live. I'm going to. I wish there's a warmer spot, but there's my buddy Matthew Timms. He lives in South Dakota, one of the Dakotas, Duluth. Oh, Minnesota. He's from South Dakota. But anyway, the point is I'm actually going to visit people that I've met online. And I always jokingly laugh with my wife because it's funny saying it. I'm like,
yeah,
so I met this guy online, and I'm going to go see him.
It's not creepy, I swear.
Yeah, I swear. Or even if I say, so honey, I'm talking to this girl I met online. They're like,
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's a very different ball game than say high school or a few years ago. We're like, talking to someone online, whereas it's like, I'm just going to meet up with this dude I met online. Like, just don't wait up. I'm sure I'll come back alive. It's all good.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. Some people still don't get that groups are extremely powerful and fun and engaging, even if you're just participating. Like, you don't have to be a group owner. I sat back and just watched who was who for a while. So I first fucked up, and then I was like, I better sit back and understand the rules. I didn't even know what a pin post was, right? So I'm like, I'm just going to kind of watch. And then I had the epiphany and was like, okay, cool. And then, even if you just started to learn, there's that, people call it lurking. So it's like, okay, they're lurking in the groups, but it's learning and start testing and implementing the shit that you're learning. You could get I've learned more here in the last 4 months than I learned in all of high school and all of college put together. Hands down.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, just the sheer number of people you can meet just on the internet and just to learn their perspective. Dale says, man, I've been meeting people from the internet since 1988, year I was born, by the way, in one of the first groups I met called ISCA, an online forum using MIRC and IRC. Yeah, right.
I remember those technologies, Dale. Those were the best, weren't they? They were crazy old technologies with dial-up modems, and it was almost like looking at the Matrix. Maybe not as fast. I was so like, oh my gosh, you could text with someone in a different country, and you're typing it on the keyboard, and they would see it. It was very generic at best, but it was still possible.
Definitely. And Laura says the same. I've learned more in the online space on my own than I ever would in a classroom. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, in the classroom, it was the 56K matrix. Yeah, I mean, the classroom it had its benefits. We learned to interact with others. Like, these are things that it's not structured learning, but it's still learning. But for a lot of the things, they just weren't they weren't implemented. Like, there was a lot of things that wasn't needed to know. Like, just some lessons were just a piss take. Like, we had, at our classroom, or not our classroom, but in our school, we had a marine biology lab. I thought it was fucking awesome. Like, we were just down from the beach, so we had all these different fish and all sorts in there, and I took that just because it was just a cool lesson to take. But I'm not going to implement any of that. I'm not going to be walking along the beach one day like, oh, look, there's a cockle there. Like, it's not going to happen. Like, but it was just good fun. Like, so yeah, it's places like this. The learning that the non-structured learning is so much better. Is just, you can implement these things. They're actually life skills for business, and it's just phenomenal.
So let's talk about like Steve Jobs. What I liked about him is he actually look at all the people who have dropped out of college to like be awesome founders. Bill Gates, and I can go on and on. But he dropped out, but then the way he said it was, he dropped in on the classes that he cared about. Like, the reason why we have so many cool fonts on computers is because he took some, I don't know if it was thick calligraphy or some sort of fucking course on fonts or whatnot. My brother loves fonts. I don't know. I think they're cool, but I don't want to know the names of them. But it was neat though. You can honestly take when I was a kid, all I knew that there was like a teacher, a mailman, a fireman, a fucking policeman. You know, like I didn't know what was possible. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like they didn't open my mind up to go, hey, dude, you can make a shit ton of money on this thing called the internet. And even, you know, it was just starting kind of when I was, you know, I was born in '77, just turned, I'll be 41 this year. So, I mean, I was still at that, I don't know. It's just, there's still so much they need to open up your mind and allow you to go, yeah, I want to explore this. I want to check this, but fuck them.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And that's why I love the podcast, because it's getting to see other people's perspectives every day, because we all live in our own little bubble, and it's just to see other people's point of views is just awesome. Even if you don't agree with their point of view, it's still great to see, because it really just opens your mind to different things.
My kids watch YouTube, and I remind them, and these guys have, you know, millions of followers and viewers and shit, and I'm like, this is how they make money, and this is marketing, and not only, you know, yada, 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 it's like, you can do that. Like, you can go out and fucking make a shit ton of money too. And they realize it now, and it also opens their mind as they look at different channels, like, hey, one guy takes a fucking chainsaw and cuts everything in half, and another guy, you know, they do backflips, and like, there's so many different niches that they watch or whatnot. So I'm like, dude, like, my daughter, she's a brainiac. She's graduating this year, 4.66, never got a B in her life. She's going to be an engineer.
Yeah, congrats. That's fantastic.
Yeah. For the boys, I'm like, you don't need to go to college. I'm like, dude, you could learn more watching YouTube videos and jumping into Facebook groups, you know?
Yeah.
And make more money and be happier. Like,
yeah.
I look at, dude, go travel the world, you know? Have fun.
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool.
Or go work a shitty 9 to 5 where you have to wear a shirt and tie every day.
Yeah, and you can't wear shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you're paid $3 to wear jeans.
No flip-flops. Yeah. Flip-flops.
Yeah.
Oh.
Man, I love flip-flops. Over here in Australia, we call them thongs, but like, as much as I'm in a shirt and some chinos, I'm in thongs right now. Or flip-flops, you know, they're great. They're actually great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my jeans on. It's wintertime, and I got jeans and tennis shoes, and I'm being just as productive, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So, Matt, let's hear a bit about your new businesses, because I'd love to hear about those. Because Group Funnels, I'm not really familiar with. Movago, I'm familiar with, and you know, it looks absolutely brilliant. So, yeah, what's the go with those?
Yeah, so Dale can relate here. Dale's brilliant at this. He's really creative. So, one of the things, or probably the most important thing when you're going to create any business, is solving a problem. And sometimes people don't realize that it's a problem, or sometimes they do realize it's a problem but don't realize that there's a solution. So as I became a Facebook group owner, I saw people repeatedly, one of my frustrations was I had like 1,000 people in my group real fast, and you know, I tend to sprint before I run, so I didn't even finish all of Arnie's course. I'm like, I'm implementing, it's growing, it's awesome, great, I'll circle back and, you know, whatever. And all of a sudden I post in his exclusive student group, and I'm like, hey guys, you know, how do you download all the fucking emails and shit that, you know, there's 3 ask questions that you can have. And they're like, you can't, you got to copy and paste them and put them into a spreadsheet. And then I'm like, well, that fucking sucks. So I hired a virtual assistant to do that, because there's no way I'm fucking doing it.
Yeah, of course.
Because if you go around to a group where they're like, here's this awesome lead magnet, and I'll get it to you in like 4 days or a week. And I'm like, well, great. By then I forgot about you, right? So anyway, I'm like, well, dude, we can easily build some software that's going to take all those questions and answers and throw them into a Google spreadsheet, and then use Zapier, right, to throw it into your email autoresponder like ActiveCampaign, ActionEdX, whatever the fuck you're using, Aweber, right? So that was that, and it's made some really good money so far, and we're about to launch. We are way out of beta, but we are launching our monthly version. So we're selling lifetime deals to get users on. We probably, over 150 users on it. And then
Yeah,
we're
great.
this next week or so launching monthly. So it's really fucking cool. I love people who whine and complain. I'm reading Dale's comment. They're the sources, new businesses and products every day. 100%. Yeah. When people bitch, like, I'm like, cool. I love that idea. Thanks. I'm gonna get enough people bitching. I'll create something to solve that problem. So the cool thing about that is I literally had the idea. I'm like, Arnie, right? This is how I do business. I'm like, Arnie, man, at the time, 3 months prior, I didn't even know Arnie, right? I started seeing him around. I bought his course. Even as my group was taking off, Ernie's got more important shit than Matt Staton. And I understood that. I respected it. So we're building a relationship, and I'm authentically building a relationship with him. And we're getting to the point where we can engage about business ideas and whatnot. So I said, Arnie, what do you think about this idea? I say 50-50 sound about right? And he goes, fuck yeah. I go, you do the marketing in here and here, and, I'll do X, Y, and Z. And then we executed, and I literally slept like 3 hours a night for I move fast. So I'm like, fuck it, let's get it going. But it was really cool because as you build authentic relationships and execute, you're going to, you stand out, and people like, I'm just a fucking massive action taker. Like I'm not trying to brag. It's just me. And
it's a fair point. Yeah.
I'll if I never consider it failing, right? I fucking learned, so that's how I kind of.
Exactly. It's feedback. That's all it is. Failure is feedback.
Dude, people were telling me with Morvago, which I'll get into here in just a second. Some people were confused as to what the fuck it was. And I'm like, man, I got to figure out my messaging, and I'm actually still working on that. But so Morvago, so I saw this company out there doing something similar. But what they were doing is they go out there and they scrape. So number one, this other company only works like with e-commerce-y type sites. There's got to be a form involved. So if somebody makes a purchase, there's code on the website that says, "Hey, Matt Staton just filled out a form. Let's go scrape his social profile and say that Matt Staton just bought these Nike shoes," right? And that's a form of social proof, right? It's called like the herd theory, herd behavior, that people follow kind of the patterns of the people before them. Well, first thing I was like, that's kind of bullshit that they're scraping my social profile and without my explicit permission. I don't care if it's in somebody's public privacy policy. Who owns that artwork? Like, is it the photographer? My brother was an IP attorney at the time. Well, he was 10 years ago. But like, who owns that? Like, I don't know. Like, it just didn't sound right. Have you ever bought anything you don't like?
Of course, who hasn't?
Yeah, exactly. So a purchase doesn't mean I'm endorsing it, right? So I felt like you're telling people they're leveraging social proof in a manipulative way. So I'm like, that's bullshit. And then I saw their pricing, and I'm like, this is fucking expensive. So then I was just going to build it for myself so I can just roll my own and just be like, cool, I'm just going to use it for myself. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to fucking make this for everybody. Like permission-based reviews. Actually, at the time, I was thinking social proof software. But I realized that other than marketers, and not even all marketers, have no idea what the fuck social proof means. And if they did, because of the company who set the precedent, and actually they weren't the first to market. It's not always the first to market, guys. It's the best to market and the best to market, if that makes sense. So it's the best to market and the best to market. There's two different meanings there. If you don't get it, drop a question and I'll figure it out. I'll explain it further. But anyway, so all of a sudden, like, I'm like trying to figure out, okay, it's not social proof, but what's more powerful, saying Matt just bought Nikes? Let me do a course, for example. I'll use Arnie's course. Matt just bought on Arnie's course, or Matt just made $40,000 in 90 days with Arnie's course. Which one's more? What, like fucking reviews? What's the first thing you look at Amazon? Reviews. Hotels. Reviews. Restaurants. Reviews. How many stars is the best? Fucking 5. The whole world knows that. So I reposition mine as sticky reviews, right? So they're sticky, meaning right now, if somebody has a website, they may have one page dedicated to reviews or testimonials or whatever you want to call them. Or they might have a section on a page. Well, guess what? Unless I can see your fucking review, it doesn't mean shit, right? So if you think about it, like if you have a testimonials page on your website, not everybody fucking goes there.
No.
And on the flip side, why wouldn't you want them to see it everywhere? So what Morvago does is it allows you to use sticky reviews that will display permission-based content. So you literally, most people have reviews on places like Facebook and Google and wherever, right? It's not that they don't have reviews. It's just they don't have a good way to display reviews. So if you don't have reviews, ask your fucking customers because you'll get them. You're either going to get good feedback, which you could display on your website with Morvago through the sticky reviews, or if you get bad feedback, fucking improve your business, right? Use it to make your business better. And then so what people can do is like they can go look at their reviews and they can talk to their customers and say, okay, so I literally go to my website, Danny Vega. He's like, hey, dude, my fucking conversion rate went up. I don't think he said fucking, but I did. Went up 175%, right? 175% increase in conversions because of Morvago. I said, on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, how many stars do you give it? He's like, a fucking 5. Again, he might not have said fucking. I'm paraphrasing. And I'm like, do you mind if I use it on the website? And he's like, dude, of course. Like, you know how much more of a relationship that is as opposed to me scraping it and just saying, Danny Vega bought Morvago. That's like,
100%.
So and instead of $29 to $129 a month, you know, my basic package, it does have the Morvago branding on it, is $7.99. Where the pro package does not. It's $9.99. Then there's a Rockstar package that's $14.99, and then there's a lifetime package. Just fucking buy the lifetime. You'll never have to pay it again. It's only $197. And
that's cheap.
Like, dude, it's fucking so inexpensive, so dumb simple to use. If you can upload a picture, type a message in that your client gave you permission to use, right? Like,
we've lost Matt for a second. Oh, there we go. No, we're good.
I'm back. That was my son calling. Anyway, it's really cool to see a need in the market or see somebody doing it a shitty way and just knowing that you can do it better. And help people along the way. Do you have any small business owners or even fucking bigger companies, right, that are going to benefit from sticky reviews? I mean, dude, if you could imagine you're getting, like Danny Vega, the same amount of ad spend. This is really trippy. His actually cost per acquisition went down as well. So not only did he make more, you know, get more sales from the same amount of traffic, his cost per, you know, I don't know, his return on ad spend was ridiculously impacted in a good way. So it blows my mind away to think that, hey, without spending any money on SEO or fucking Facebook, you know, whatever you're spending now, keep spending it. So if you get 100 people in your funnel and normally 10 come out, well, now what if 20 come out or 30? So you're spending the same, but getting more for your money. Like, it's a fucking no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, man, that sounds phenomenal. And it's super cheap as well.
Yeah, definitely super affordable, man. Fucking, honestly, everyone that I know that uses it, like this girl, Kat, love her. She's Australian. You might know her. Kat was like, what?
I think Matt's son's calling him again. Give him a sec. because the internet's been pretty good so far. So I think once Matt comes back, then we'll jump back on. So if you're getting value from this, if you're enjoying the show, hashtag value. If you could drop that in the comments, that would be phenomenal. If you're on the replay, we'd love to hear from you. Just some feedback that this is being watched at a later date. Hashtag replay. That'd be great, because we love to share episodes like this because they're a lot of fun, and the group members. And we want everyone to enjoy it and actually have a lot of fun. And this has been a really great episode, and that it has been a lot of fun, and we've learned a lot and learned about Matt. He started a business trying to pick up shit when he started, back in his teens, or no, he was already married then, but that's what I'm saying. So, if you can leave some comments, we'd just love to hear from you. It'd be fantastic. Matt will be back in a moment, and then we'll wrap this up. But yes, so much for, thank you for joining. John says about 4.8, depending on who you ask, in regards to out of 5. And Drew, such a phenomenal guy, I like his energy a lot. Yeah, definitely. I've been really keen to get Matt on, because Matt has his own group, Affiliate Blueprint Marketing. He's got over 4,000 members. He only started that in September, so he's done absolutely fantastic there. I mean, because this group started in mid-November, and we're just over 1,200 now, which is great. But yeah, to get 4,000 members, or over 4,000 since September, is brilliant. So he's done really, really well. He leveraged Arnie's course to basically grow it further. Arnie, of which is in the Millennial Entrepreneur Community group. He started that himself. He's had that about 2 years now, and that's about 40,000 people. So it's almost like a small town. So that's absolutely incredible. So with Matt, we'll hopefully he can jump back on just to say goodbye, because we'd love to be able to hear from Matt how we can get in touch with him, just so that way we can, help him with our businesses. So jumping back on, drum roll.
What's up? Sorry about that.
What's up?
I'm on my phone. Every time someone fucking calls, it kicks me off, and I'm like, man, next time I won't go on my phone. Live and learn.
No, that's all good. I'm the same. I always forget. Like I'll put my phone on airplane mode, but then I'll turn my Wi-Fi on. But 9 out of 10 times I forget, and I've been lucky enough that it hasn't happened. I think it's happened once or twice during the show. But I was being interviewed in a different group, and I got called 3 times. I was like, "Oh fuck, sorry, dude."
There we go. I'm that guy, and some people would feel so embarrassed, and I'm like, "Who gives a fuck? It's life, dude. Like, shit happens. No big deal." Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Matt, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been an absolute great chat. It's been a lot of fun. Love the energy. It's been great, man. So, I'd just like to know, for everyone listening in at home, how do they get in contact with you so that way you can help with their businesses, whether it's with Movago or if they've got a group with group funnels or anything else? How do they get in contact with you?
The easiest way to get in contact with me is go to my group, Affiliate Blueprint Marketing, and then just fucking send me a message. Let's just have a conversation and see what, you never know. So just fucking reach out and have a conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and if you were to drop the links for that below in the comments, that would be awesome. Because being so open-minded, to meet new people is phenomenal. I've been trying to build more of an Adelaide network the last few weeks, and I messaged there's a certain Adelaide group, and with entrepreneurs in it, and I messaged a bunch of them saying, "Oh, hey, I'd love to get a coffee, meet you, know more." And one of the guys was like, "I've decided this year that I don't do coffees anymore." I was like, "What?" He's like, "If you have any questions, please leave them here." I was like, "Sorry, dude, I don't actually know what you do, so I don't actually have any questions for you at all. So I appreciate your time. Thanks a lot, but no thanks."
Yeah. And that's where you realize that that's the type of asshole that you don't want to ever hang out with, and you can make that decision. But if you're stuck in some shitty office, and some shitty business, some shitty corporation, that's probably some douchebag who's your boss that you got to like, ugh. Well, anyway. Thanks, dude. I appreciate you having me on. Awesome. Take care, brother.
Thank you so much for coming on. All right, and everyone, Matt Staton. So, Matt, thanks so much, man. And we'll chat soon.